Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris McGuire, and I have one question and one question only to ask you. How many of you have made a Facebook post or a tweet or a YouTube comment or a YouTube video or something to that effect saying that the Xbox One is awful? Just awful. You're never going to buy it. You're never going to buy it. You're going for the PlayStation. You're going for the Wii U. You're never going to buy the Xbox One. Because you hate it. Because Microsoft is greedy, and it's the worst thing that ever happened. The conference was terrible. There's no redeemable qualities about it at all, and there's no way that it can ever have redeemable qualities because it's the next Xbox console. How many of you have done something like that in the past week? Wow, that's actually a lot more than I thought. Jesus. Okay. I suddenly feel a little crowded in here. Well, nevertheless, I will soldier on and I will finish this video anyways. It's going to be a little unpopular maybe, but I have basically come here today to spread one message and one message only. To say one thing about the new Xbox, the Xbox One. And that is, guys, come on! Come on! Come on! It's been one event. It's been one event. An announcement event. An announcement conference, honestly. Come on, this is ridiculous. Now, that's not to say that there is no reason to be mad. There's no reason to think that this console has something going for it that a lot of us don't like. I'm not saying that there are things I love about this console or there's things that I don't hate about this console. There are plenty so far, and it's only been one event. And there are already plenty of things I do not like about it. But if there is one thing and one thing only we should know about previous consoles and previous events and previous launches and previous things happening in the gaming industry, and maybe some of you weren't around, or maybe some of you weren't paying attention at the time, or you weren't really interested in the industry and how that works, but as a person who's been around for a while watching this stuff, I can tell you one thing. All of the stuff that the Xbox One has going for it, the negatives and the positives, do not indicate that this console just outright is going to fucking fail out its ass. That this console is just gonna not even make it past launch, not make it past Q1, there's nothing that is going to just kill this console outright right out the door. I'm gonna talk about what this console is and what this console isn't and tell you why it's not over yet. Let me get one thing straight out the door. I don't love this console. So far, I don't love it. I hate all the things that are bad about it just as much as you do, and let me start out with those. 1, essentially always online. Not entirely. You can still go online, or you can still play your games when your internet goes out, but you will have to go online once a day or so just to pair your account, pair your information, pair your game, so that they basically keep track of all the games you have purchased and the games that you have put on your account. Games that you buy will have to be paired with this account because you are buying the license to play that game, the license to have it for yourself. This is what Steam has been doing for years. I think it's like 8 or 9 years by now, almost a decade. So it's nothing new. And maybe for a console that's a bad thing, maybe consoles were never supposed to be like that, maybe this is a PC only thing and consoles should never do something like that. Maybe it'll turn out to hit Microsoft in the ass later. But for now, it doesn't look all that terrible. A lot of us don't like it. I don't like it. My friends don't like it. But it's not a system killer. Let's be honest, it's not a system killer. The people that will not benefit from this, the people that will be hurt by this are A, people without internet, B, people with terrible internet, which maybe they won't be hurt that much because you could really just go online once a day, pair your information, and do that with dial-up. So people without internet will obviously get hurt. People who pirate their games will obviously get hurt. And I'm not demonizing those people, you know. I'm not going to come out and say piracy is a good thing, but I have friends who pirate games. I have lots of friends who pirate games. You know, it's nothing that makes you immediately a criminal in my mind. You know, a lot of people do it. So it's going to hurt those people, obviously, because this is essentially a pirate-free console. based on what they've done. The second thing is that whenever you pair a game, once you buy a game, the disc copy, pair it with your account. You can't loan that game to someone else because you've already used the code to pair it with your account. So your friend will have to pay a fee to take the physical copy and put it on his Xbox and play it. He will need a fee because it has to be paired with his account, and you have to have bought the game to pair it to your account, which he clearly didn't do because you loaned it to him. This fee will probably be identical price to the actual game. So essentially the used game market has been, boom, eliminated. This ties right back into Steam. Steam does not have used games. They're basically making a Steam console. Microsoft has outdone Valve in making a Steam box. Okay, that's the funniest thing to me when I thought about it. When I sat down and thought about what this console is, they've essentially made a Steam box. A Steam console. Which is funny. Because only a few months ago, Microsoft said publicly, Steam isn't our competitor. We're not competing with Steam. So who will be harmed by a used game fee? Who? Who? Pretty much anyone with friends. Pretty much anyone with friends. Because if you have friends and they loan you games, you're getting hurt by this. That's me. That's most of my friends. That's a lot of people. So this does sour me on the console a little bit. But again, I have Steam. I have over 40 games on Steam. So I can't really complain. I can afford games for myself. A little bit. I'm starting to get to the point where I can comfortably afford games. So this doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt a lot of people, but it hurts also a good amount of people. It's fine if you say, well, this console doesn't sound like it's for me, I'm going for the PS4. That's totally fine. But there are a lot of people that are just saying this console isn't fine for anybody. It's dead on arrival. And to me, that's just absurd. I don't think any console of this generation, or probably the next, is going to die. I don't think the Wii U is going to fail. I don't think the Xbox is going to fail. I don't think the PlayStation is going to fail. And I'm on the optimistic side of the Wii U, believe me. And apparently on the optimistic side of the Xbox, but whatever. I'm not a fan of what they're doing with the Xbox, but I'm at least saying wait till E3. Because that's another thing. My third point. Games. People are complaining about the games. There wasn't any games at the conference, but Call of Duty and fucking the Remedy game and Forza. They didn't show Fable, or they showed a Halo television series, not a game. But the point is they didn't show any games. They didn't show any games. But to me, that's obvious, right? I mean, why would they show games this close to E3? They are obviously, clearly waiting for E3 to show off the games. Why would they do anything else? Let's be honest. Why? So they're going to have a conference at E3. They're clearly going to show off the games there. It's just common sense to me. With that said, the used game fee, always online, lack of games, according to people's stupidity, essentially. I mean, they've even said 15 exclusive games, 8 of which are brand new. They've already said that, so... But these 3 things essentially are the reason people are so much complaining about the Xbox, and the fact that they're focusing so much on TV. I've seen some complaints about the strength of the system, but we don't know enough yet. I mean, the graphics... The graphics card, essentially, the graphics processing power, is reportedly lower than the PlayStation, but I don't think we can make those calls just yet. With that said, there are a few things that I think could save this console. Could definitely bring it up out of the rut that it's in, where people hate it and they're bashing it and whatever. The ways they can save this console in the public eye, in my opinion, is 1. Cheaper games. I know what you're thinking. It's Microsoft. They're not going to be prosumer. It could happen, guys. It could happen. Let's make the games in the stores, maybe $50, $55, I don't care. Drop the price dramatically for downloadables, okay? Make the games downloadable at a much cheaper price. the base thing that they need to do, since this is an internet-based console, let's get downloadable games on there at a lower price. Let's compete with Steam price-wise, please. Number 2, Xbox Live. Make it cheaper. Either make it cheaper or eliminate the cost altogether. PlayStation Network doesn't cost a damn thing. You can still play games with each other. You can still chat with each other. PS4 apparently is getting system-wide chat, cross-game chat. So that's nice. The Xbox has had that forever, and that was the one thing that kept me saying, well, Xbox is a superior platform. Obviously, they charge a price. But now that the PS4 is going to get cross-game chat, what else does the Xbox have that it doesn't? That makes this online service costs $5 a month. I don't see it. With all of that said, what do I personally think about this console? Again, I don't like to make judgment calls, but I will tell you one thing. I am thoroughly disappointed. From what I've seen so far, I am thoroughly disappointed in the new Xbox. I went into this last conference, thinking that Xbox was going to be a powerhouse. I am of the persuasion that the Xbox 360 was the finest game console of this generation, and I figured that the next Xbox would show some promise in possibly being the finest console of the next generation. That wasn't the case. Clearly, that was not the case. At least from what I can tell. We still gotta wait for E3, we still gotta wait till the launch, but for now, I'm not too thrilled about how the Xbox is turning out. But I'm not willing to call it quits yet. I'm not willing to just throw it to the curb and demonize it and call it names on Twitter and make videos about how much I hate it and how I'm never going to get one. It's just too early for that. And the people that are doing that, I would urge you to please give it a rest and calm down. Settle down. I'll get you a Kool-Aid. I'll get you a nice little ice cream bar. You can go to my fridge. I got all sorts of little treats for you. You can get them. And you can sit down and you can eat it and you can wait for E3. And once E3 is over, if you didn't like what you see, you can throw that ice cream on the ground, throw that lemonade or whatever I got you down on the ground, and you can stand up and proudly say, fuck the Xbox. And then I will totally support you. You have your right to do that. For now, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Cheers.